Hey, today I'm talking about 3 horror films. I kind of use that term loosely though. And the names of those 3 movies are Mayhem, Carnival of Souls, and Sisters. First up is Mayhem. This is a 2017 American movie that I got for Christmas. Woo! I really love the cover of this, by the way. It's great. The basic premise is it's kind of like Dread meets 28 Days Later plus a little bit of Zombieland. And it works really, really well. Basically, there's this rage virus that doesn't make you go like full zombie, but it makes you just want to like beat the shit out of people who annoy you. There's an outbreak in this office building and a disgruntled employee really wants to make his way to the top of the building where there's some executives that he wants to do some stuff to. And it's really, really solid. I enjoyed this movie a ton. I'll start off with criticisms because I only have one. And it's the same criticism I have with practically every single Samara Weaving movie that I've seen. And that is, there is not enough Samara Weaving in this movie. She is incredibly underutilized, and it is a tragedy because she is hilarious. She has such great character and charm. She just works. She's even terrific as like a background character, and that's amazing. But they just did not do enough with her here. And like subtracting from my fanboyness of Samara Weaving, I do think there was a big missed opportunity with her because like from my cover, it looks like she's the co-lead of this movie, but she's really just a sidekick who doesn't get super developed. And like, I honestly felt that the movie was just like a little bit short. And I think what would have helped was exploring Samara more. But to jump off of Samara Weaving, the rest of the movie is great. The action is incredible. It's so well choreographed and shot beautifully. I love the aesthetic of the movie in general. The narration works really, really well. The gory stuff is pretty solid. And just like, I liked what the whole movie was going for. It was a really fun, good time of a movie. If you liked any of those movies that I compared it to, Zombieland, 28 Days Later, or Dread, then you're probably gonna like this movie a lot too. So yeah, it's a good, solid movie that's definitely worth a watch just for Samara Weaving alone, but the rest of it's great as well. Next up is Carnival of Souls. This is a 1962 American horror movie. It's not really horror in the classic sense of horror. It's more horror in like ambience. Got like that eerie vibe to it all throughout it. And that's what a lot of people praise this movie for, but I just did not care for it. The basic premise is this car full of women get into this accident. The car goes careening off a bridge and they all seemingly drowned. But then after a few hours of searching, one of the women pops up and it's like, oh, I'm actually alive. And then she tries to go about living the rest of her life, but she is visited by this mysterious ghost. Ooh. For a movie that's called Carnival of Souls, there's a real lack of carnival. That was annoying. Like, yeah, the climax of the movie's at the carnival, but like, it's not really a carnival. It's essentially just a dance hall, which they established in the movie. The place used to be a dance hall before it was a carnival. So really, this should be called Dance Hall of Souls. And it would have been more accurate because like, there's no like carnival ride. There's no like any carnival-y things at the carnival. All that's there is just a bunch of people dancing in circles. And that's it. I don't know. I was annoyed because I wanted carnivals and there were no carnivals. I also really, really, really hated her neighbor in the movie, who's basically the second lead, because he's just very rapey, will not take no for an answer, and is just either trying way too hard to get into the lead's pants or just being a giant dick to her. And I'm like, I hate this character a lot. I really hope he dies. He didn't, and that was disappointing. And also like, I guess the twist ending didn't feel like a twist. I thought we were supposed to know that that's what was going on this entire time. I don't know. I really didn't care for this movie, and that really saddens me because it's supposed to be really good, but it didn't do it for me. I mean, I don't recommend it, but it is a much acclaimed movie, so do with that as you will. And lastly is Sisters. This is a 1972 Brian De Palma movie starring Lois Lane. Isn't that exciting? This movie really isn't a horror movie, it's more of a suspense slasher film. And the basic premise is Lois Lane is a twin that used to be a conjoined twin, and that's supposed to be spooky. And then there's a murder, and a reporter investigates the murder, and then she's committed. Yeah, that's the whole story. This film has been kind of praised as a very feminist film, and I can understand why, because both the hero of the movie and the villain of the movie are strong female characters, and a lot of their obstacles just come from male incompetence. And I like that aspect of this movie a lot. I think that's smart and interesting and a good perspective. But there's a lot I don't like about this movie. I really don't like how they try to portray conjoined twins as incredibly creepy. I also don't like that there was this one part where there was like this slow zoom in on the main character's leg, and then we reveal it to see this big scar there, and it's like dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, it's just a scar. Like, it's not scary. People have scars. Scars aren't innately scary. What are you doing? Just body shaming this person for some reason. I also really disliked how they ended the movie, because like the reporter goes to a mental hospital and they do the trope of, oh, you're not a reporter, you're actually a patient here, which is a lie. And then they brainwash her. And I'm like, why are you just like super duper vilifying mental institutions? And also like giving doctors like these almost supernatural powers at brainwashing. Like, what the hell is this movie? So yeah, so I really didn't care for this movie. So again, I don't recommend it. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Mayhem, sitting number 7 in the really liked category. And then after that, we got Carnival of Souls, sitting number 27 in the didn't like category. And then bringing up the rear, rightfully so, is Sisters, sitting at number 29, also in the didn't like category. And this is out of a total of 30 old movies so far this year.